The Viperids and Elapids are small but well developed. And the reason for that thing is, in comparison to the birds, what you will notice is their bulk, strength, power, with which they actually squeeze and tighten the prey. You can imagine even a jaguar to kill a python or to kill an anaconda is difficult. And weighing over 200 plus is a heavy weight. Whereas that of Viperidae and Elapidae, the size is very small. And since the size is small, their strength is in the venom. But the problem is the preparation of the venom. And therefore, since your defense mechanism itself is the venom, and that too it is in shortage. So when you have arsenals which are in short for you, you have to use tactics. When to use, how to use, where to use, what time to use. And so therefore this becomes an aspect for these Elapids and Viperids in their defense mechanism. What we know about the snakes, if anybody is asked, in general, we know the deceiving quality, the planning quality, the plotting quality. And this requires high level of intellect, alertness, as against what Boidae will have. So therefore, for the Elapids and Viperids, the important aspect is the need to be super alert. And in human version, if you go to see, the idea of alertness is from your special senses. So therefore, you will see these people having a good vision. They would say, I have a very good ear, doctor. If I'm working on this table right now, I know in the corner table what that person is talking. I can hear it clearly. And why should be the reason for this? The reason is, retrospectively, I can be attacked at any time. I am at a disadvantage and people are there to attack me. And so therefore, this being the background of being attacked, being injured, I need to be alert with my special senses. You will see slightest touch aggravates them. Therefore, we have all read tight clothing aggravates. Because they do not have this habit of sticking around. Especially with the Elapids, they are very solo as against the Viperids. And so we will see all these qualities, these tactics, how they apply into their day-to-day life. And so these are the different Elapids that we are going to understand. The Elaps, the Naja, the Dendroapis polylepsis, Oxyranus, and Hydrophis cynosintus. These are the 5 major ones of the Elapids which are used in homeopathic practice. Their strategy, their type of attack, their way of moving around in society. This is what we are going to now understand. And so, with this idea, we will see how these particular basic Elapides and Viperids first differ, and then we go with Elapid details. Right? So the difference is this, that the Elapids have a hollow fixed fangs which helps them to inject the venom. And the position of these fangs are basically at the anterior side of the mouth, front side, which is very unique to the elapids. As against what you see in viperids, the fangs for viperids cannot be made erect. They are curved like this. So you cannot make them erect. This is the way how the idea of the fangs are. Further to this, elapids must actually bite its prey, because the position of the fangs is right at the anterior side of the mouth. So the elapids need to bite the prey. And since they are small, in order to pierce, it has to bite it, so that the fang can go inside and then leave the venom. This is the problem with elapids. Whereas for the viperids, they are very sharp and long ones. So the idea for viperids is they have to stab their victim. Another important aspect is for elapids, they have to repeatedly do that. 2-3 times they have to bite. So they have actually got the victim. Whereas for the viperids, it's a single quick stabbing motion. It's simply like one shot and it's all over. The venom of elapid is potentially deadly. And it's a powerful neurotoxic. So you will see for Naja, for Black Mamba, for Coral, all these, the CNS is affected. If you understand the Materia Medica, there is a huge amount of central nervous system that is affected in these cases. And the major seat of action is respiratory paralysis. And therefore breathlessness, cyanosis, lack of oxygen to the state of mind, so therefore confusion, loss of balance, affinity towards the higher center of the brain, the consciousness, behavior and intellect, and therefore further affecting the lower center, causing disorientation of time, place and space. But if it is viperids, they are both neurotoxic as well as hemotoxic. But in viperids, the strength of the venom and the severity of the bite varies from one species to the other species. Same with the elapids also. In elapid bite, there is not much of a local swelling over there. Around the area of bite, there is not much of local swelling. And viperids are mostly nocturnal creatures. If you see Crotalus horridus, Crotalus coscovilla, all these are nocturnal. Elapids, the bites are to be considered as more dangerous than the proteolytic viper venoms. Elapid venoms are more dangerous, more strong, and therefore the wicked quality in elapids are more than that of the viperids. The aggressive quality is more in the Elapids than the Viperids. Viperids normally tend to warn as like what Elapids do. But Viperids' warning is much more than that of the Elapids. And so the Elapids, we have the cobra, the mamba, the kraits, then we have the sea snakes, tiger snakes, coral snakes, and most of the venomous snake of Australia, the taipans, the brown snake or the death adder. I repeat, cobra, mamba, kraits, sea snake, tiger snake, coral snakes, taipans, brown snake or death adder are the different Elapids. Further, when we understand the Elapid, the idea in the Elapid people is that they are very asocial and prefer to be alone. You see the cobra, you see the black mamba, they are mostly solo. And another important aspect for the Elapids is they do not like to be bothered. Please don't bother me. Let me live in my own world and I'm happy with it. Such is the asocial quality of the Elapids. Another aspect of the Elapids is that they're quite territorial. Any intrusion into their space provokes them to strike. As long as you are not intruding into their space, they are okay with it. मेरे नाद में मत लगना. Leave me by myself. Leave me alone. This is the idea for the Elapids. I'm okay where I am. I'm okay with what I'm doing. So the idea is I don't bother about you. You don't bother about me. You don't bother, pester or irritate me. And likewise, I also wouldn't bother you or irritate you or pester you. However, if you have any means of harm to me or have some intentions for me which are wicked, I too will not spare you. This is the quality of the Elapids. One of the patients said, अगर वो मुझे तकलीफ देता है तो मैं संत तो नहीं हूं डॉक्टर साहब, मैं भी वही करूंगा जो वो कर रहा है. I'm not a saint. If he is bothering me, if he is troubling me, I'll also show him the same way. Then he will know what it means. This is the quality for the Elapids, that if you bother me, only then I go. If it becomes too much for me, then I go to do the same thing to show you what it means. So the idea is I shall then be compelled to harm you as well. Elapids will warn more than once, most often, but not always, remember. And if that warning is not heeded, then they will suddenly strike, violently strike in a very intense manner. And remember, the poison, the venom is very strong. So the strike is sudden, violent, intense. In human version, दे दूंगा रख कर फिर देखूंगा नहीं क्या हो रहा है उसका नतीजा. I will give one. I'll not be bothered about what will be the end result of that. That is the idea how the Elapids will give you. Because they know their giving is lethal.